voicemail transcript copied from a phone that should not power on. The first frame catches a witness stepping away from the basement wall phone while everyone else waits for the test to start. A reflection arrives half a second before the person casting it. The witness repeats the wrong date and starts crying before they understand why. The first question is not what happened. It is why the basement wall phone evidence already knows the witness. The safe explanation is a witness misreading the tag. For almost 1 minute, that explanation works. Then the corrected copy changes first, and the room stops feeling like a place people can leave. Every explanation asks one person to give up a piece of what they remember. The nearest person steps back, like the evidence has recognized them. The archive can keep its labels. The story belongs to the person who realizes the basement wall phone evidence has started answering them personally. The recording catches a breath that does not belong to anyone on the log. The next contradiction is not bigger, it is closer. The clean recording keeps the damage and loses the voice. Now the witness has to decide whether the evidence is a warning, a lure, or a rehearsal. The phone is not only evidence, it is a rehearsal for the memory the room will take next. The opening no longer looks like the first scene. It looks like the moment the room chose who would remember it. The last note names another witness who reacts before seeing what changed. The room goes quiet only after someone says the wrong name. The file ends because the archive runs out of procedure, not because the witness runs out of fear. The next silence has shape. The evidence is sealed, but the seal is warm. Everyone hears it differently, and only one person understands why. The witness changes their story after touching nothing. Dust shifts across the table before the door opens. That is the moment the evidence becomes intimate. The timestamp clicks forward in a room where every clock has been unplugged. Because first witness does not scream, the witness lowers their hand before anyone tells them what the evidence is. Someone has to choose whether to trust their memory or the object in front of them. When the phone returns, radio bleed from another room almost holds. Then the room remembers the witness before the witness enters. "Don't touch it," someone says when the phone answers out of turn. But the warning arrives one breath too late. A harmless detail becomes impossible to ignore. Trace stays narrow and deliberate, as if someone, the first person in the room, forgets a name they had just written down. The file has found the person it wants. A small detail turns personal when the phone answers back. The witness realizes the room knows which lie they were about to tell. The final tag is signed in handwriting the witness has not learned yet. The final ordinary sound is not a scream. It is the phone, repeated once. After everyone agrees the room is empty. The evidence waits in plain view while the witness invents reasons not to look at it. A private memory becomes physical evidence in front of strangers. When the phone returns, a camera clock drifting under load almost holds. Then the witness transcript quotes a sentence nobody has spoken yet. A light flickers once, then holds steady, as if someone has warned it. The witness notices the pattern too late. A staffer pockets the key, then cannot remember which door it opens. A witness looks for permission to laugh, then realizes nobody else heard the same thing. Someone keeps one hand in their pocket because touching the evidence now feels like answering it. The personal cost lands in a practical gesture, a credential removed, a door avoided, a name crossed out twice. A hand stays above the table, a name is avoided, and one breath arrives too late. The room pressures the witness before anyone understands what noticed them first. The choice lands before the mechanism becomes clear. The phone stops being information and starts sounding like a demand. The recording ends with the table waiting for another hand. A mislabeled intake file would be comforting if it explained the timing. It does not, because the last sound is a voice practicing the witness's answer. The lights stay ordinary, which makes the contradiction worse. The second playback removes the safest explanation. Nobody can blame spectacle for what changed. The horror keeps shrinking until it fits inside one remembered detail. The witness transcript quotes a sentence nobody has spoken yet. A second silence arrives after the room should be safe. A camera clock drifting under load almost explains it. Then the final tag is signed in handwriting the witness has not learned yet. Keep the camera on the person who tries not to react. The witness lowers their hand before anyone tells them what the evidence is. The phone makes the room feel chosen instead of observed. The archive can seal evidence, but it cannot seal what the witness remembers next. The air has the flat, wet smell of a room after power has been off too long. The safest explanation breaks in a human place. A hand stops, a name disappears, and the phone waits in plain view. No one in the locked evidence room, where the first witness sees the evidence, says the fear out loud. A mislabeled intake file still sounds useful until the corrected copy changes first. Please don't make me answer it. The witness whispers, but the phone rings once from inside the locked evidence room, where the first witness sees the phone. Why does it know their voice? The room gives the witness one more chance to deny it. Then the phone answers with the detail they were hiding. What hurts is how ordinary the evidence remains. The witness understands that touching it would feel like agreement. The file can call it a discrepancy, but the witness has already changed. By the final pass, the evidence is not louder, it is closer. The evidence stops matching itself and starts matching the witness. Stay with the witness after the obvious explanation fails. A light flickers once, then holds steady, as if someone has warned it. Someone laughs once, too quietly, then asks to leave without looking away. The danger is not death. It is being edited out of your own account. The room does not become louder. It becomes more personal. A mislabeled intake file fails because the corrected copy changes first. The recording ends with the table waiting for another hand. One more practical detail changes what the witness can trust. The object stays ordinary enough to touch, and that is why touching it feels like answering. The next proof belongs to a person, not a file. The cost is small enough to deny and personal enough to ruin them. The room remembers the witness before the witness enters. A second silence arrives after the room should be safe. A corrupted export from an older case almost explains it. Then the evidence is sealed, but the seal is warm. A camera clock drifting under load still sounds useful until the clean recording keeps the damage and loses the voice. The room gives the witness one more chance to deny it. The second witness is listed as present tomorrow. The corrected copy changes first. The horror keeps shrinking until it fits inside one remembered detail. A mislabeled intake file still sounds useful until the corrected copy changes first.